Hello, gang, and welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with me for just a few minutes here. I might record a couple of videos. Um, I know it's been a while, I say it every time. But I did get a comment on a video that I made more than a year ago about Damien Eccles, and it was a very long, interesting comment disagreeing with me, but I'm not sure. I mean, I have to go back and reread that. You see, I've made a lot of videos now, and I do have a lot of comments, I guess a few, questioning things that I've said. Certainly, I have tried not to be very controversial. Anyway, since I do talk about the Chinese calendar of Chinese, since I do talk about the Chinese calendar quite a bit, and for those of you who have been here before, maybe you know I have a certain interest in Chinese culture and Eastern culture. I did want to say Happy Year of the Pig. And this has been my third Tet. That's the Lunar New Year Tet in Vietnam. But it's the first one that I've celebrated with others, which was really mind-expanding cultural experience. And one of those times when I thought, when I really got the sensation that I was far away from home. Home is such a vague word. Twice this week, people have called me out and that they found out that I'm from Wisconsin. I tell everyone that I'm from Wisconsin, but actually I was born in North Carolina, and I've only been there once as an adult, back to where the first house I lived in, way back in the 1980s. But people were kind of shocked. This Vietnamese person and this American, they were both shocked when I told them that. But yes, I am a Tar Heel Carolina boy, to the extent you can say that's even true for someone who's only lived in a place for like 3 years. I guess I've lived in Vietnam now longer than I lived in North Carolina at all when I was an infant. It's so strange to think. The passage of time, it's already the year of the pig, which means next year it's going to be the year of the rat, my year again. And my last year of the rat was incredible. It was the time when I really broke out of my shell and took on the whole world rather than just, trying to be like this psychotherapist out in the Northwoods, which was my original plan. I don't tell many people this, but I studied psychology and I was really into Jung and Freud and all that. And I wanted to go into psychotherapy, and of course the easiest way to do that was to go through social work, which is what I initially studied. All these personal details. I just wanted to say it's going to be the year of the rat, and 1 year from now, it's the 1 year countdown to the year of the rat. And it ties back to that life I had in Wisconsin, where there I was just on that certain career track, expecting that I would stay on that track, that I would just be a therapist and live in, I don't know, Minnesota or something the rest of my life, or maybe go off to Europe or Canada. I thought about going to Canada. I thought about going to all these cold places, never once allowing myself to daydream of going somewhere nice and warm like Southeast Asia. And again, I bring that up. I talk about the climate because I've seen just so many distressing, horrible photos and videos out of Wisconsin, Minnesota. One of my brothers got into a car accident, which, thank God no one got hurt, but it really smashed in his rear door or something. And I remember having cars out in Wisconsin. This is the last time I lived there, I guess. It was a few years ago when I was still finishing up graduate school, And I was just renting a room off Craigslist, some nice kind of hippie couple out at the edge of town. And I was parked in their driveway, and it was so cold that I broke the car door handle just trying to get in, just trying to unlock it. Like the handle snapped off. I couldn't get in. And I went around to the other side like the genius I was, and I tried to get on the other side, and I pulled the handle, and it also snapped off. Just terrible. And so going through that, seeing what's happening as far as winter, seeing photos of bubbles turning to ice or breaking open an egg and having it all freeze. I mean, Why would anyone live there? I honestly want to know. Thank God, mashallah, I was able to escape that deep freeze. But it's still cold out here, and winter is still a thing out here. And I wanted just to talk generally about Tet, it being the first Tet that I've really celebrated, and just all of the ritual and everything that goes into it. I was talking with some Western friends the other day, friends from Australia and the States and England. It's always the UN when I go out and just have a drink with friends. It's always international. But anyway, we're talking about how Christmas, it's great. You know, you wake up, you open your gifts, and you have lunch together, maybe you have dinner, go see a movie or something, and that's it. You have the rest of the time to yourself. You can go out and get drunk with your brothers or whatever. You know, you can, I don't know, just be alone or be on Reddit or whatever people do, you know. Of course, it's different when there's kids involved, but, you know, it was a Tet that I experienced without children. Or there were a few children, but we didn't really see them. And there was stuff that I could take pictures of and stuff that I couldn't, stuff that I can only talk about. I saw a Quana tree, and Quana, that's Vietnamese for a custard apple. I did a video about that. It looks like a poisonous piece of fruit, but you open it up and it's this white, sweet stuff. It's so delicious. And I saw those growing. And looking out at the tree of those, what I found, last time I was in Thailand, I found it translated custard apples. So I guess they're called custard apples. And just looking at that and thinking, what human ever reached down and grabbed that poisonous looking pine cone thing and decided it was a good thing to eat? I also saw people eating dog, and I wanted to take a picture of it, but I couldn't. This particular town that I went to had many dog and cat meat places, which I'm not judging them for or anything. I'm just saying that's another thing that made it feel so far away from me. And then the rice paddies, you know, where it's just a little bit of water and these trails that cut through, and it's so flat, and it's just plains like you would see in those war movies about Vietnam. And seeing so many stars at night, I mean, it reminded me of the book of Amos. The Lord is his name, the one who made the 7 stars in Orion. And then just drinking lots and lots of tea with lots of people and using very limited Vietnamese. And then praying over every meal, which seems weird, but at the same time, we do the same thing. And being out in a farm, which kind of reminds me, it's like I used to be out in the countryside when I was very little. I loved being out, you know, chickens and dogs and cows and all that. I remember all that stuff. I used to pass by a field with bovines in it on the way to work when I was a teenager, you know. But it's sort of like after 10 years or so where I've spent my time almost exclusively in big cities, it's just been, it was so weird going into the countryside, even for a few days, and experiencing all that. But I'm very grateful for it, and I've got a whole new perspective on Vietnam now. And I learned so much from that experience. But I won't talk about it too much. After all, this channel isn't really to talk about Vietnam so much. I guess this is just a more personal vlog post. But I just wanted to say hi to everyone. And happy Year of the Pig, and let's make it a good one, because the Year of the Rat will soon be upon us. And that's going to be a tricky year in my prediction, in my auguries, for whatever they are worth. Thanks for watching Jinka Jabo. Over and out.